basically what happened was a year ago, I started The Artist's Way, right? I was finishing a tour performing and I was really depressed. We were like 400 shows in and I was like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. And I was really depressed. I lost all my creative spark, hence I started The Artist's Way. And the second book after The Artist's Way, which she wrote that year, 2023, the year before last year, was called Living the Artist's Way, which is a continuation of the first book. And in that, she describes a practice that she's had for herself for many, many years but hadn't shared, and it's called writing for guidance. And this is the perfect practice for those who, like me, are scared or hesitant to pray. And I've always had this thing of, I don't believe in a theistic God, I'm a pantheist, but I really enjoyed the idea of praying, but every time I sat there to try and do it, there were so many blocks and I couldn't, I felt silly. I felt like I wasn't talking to anyone. I also felt like I didn't deserve to ask for things. Anyway, so this practice is really great in turning something so intangible into a tangible thing. So the practice is you write out the question you need guidance on, and stream of consciousness style, you let each word reveal itself to you in your mind's ear, one by one, and the sentence reveals itself in the end. And the sentence always is freakishly right, or something you wouldn't have consciously been able to think about yourself or concoct. And she's like, I don't know what it is. It could be your spirit guides, it could be your higher self, it could be God, it could be your ancestor, it could just be yourself, your subconscious self. But it kind of doesn't matter because it always works and it's foolproof. And I've been doing this practice for a year now, and I'll give you some examples of some beautiful messages I've gotten back. For example, when I went through my breakup with my partner of 6 years, I wrote one morning, I was in excruciating feeling of loneliness, and I wrote, I'm feeling really lonely, I don't know what to do. And it wrote back to me, but I'm always here for you. I literally cried after that. It was just so beautiful to hear because, it just made me realize I can spend time with myself and that God is inside me, and I can have conversations with my guidance or myself or whoever it is, but I'm not alone. I'm surrounded by angels. I'm even when I am alone, I have myself, and that is such a gift. And recently, this is a really, really fun one. I was being impatient about these physical opportunities materializing, right? Things that I've manifested, and it not coming fast enough. And my guidance writes back, why would I give you the spoilers to the start of your own movie? And I was like, what? That's crazy. You're right. The start of the movie is always the best part. And I'm in the start, the beginning, opening sequence, where she's walking down to the coffee shop, she's getting her coffee, like there's a fun song playing. Like, why do I want to spoil that? I don't want to know what's next. And life has such a beautiful way of surprising us and taking us in these weird twists and turns, and it's so exciting because you never know what's next. And I want to be able to watch the movie and enjoy it. So why ask for those spoilers? Why? So anyway, I digress. That's an example of writing for guidance, and I urge anyone that is having trouble praying to try it. Anyway, so I've been writing for guidance like for a year straight, I want to say. And then fast forward to now, about a month ago, I had that spiritual awakening. I call it spiritual awakening number 3 in my life. And you can refer back to that video, but I'll just quickly recap. Went to the river. It's a very sacred space for me. My energy felt like it was going to pour and burst out of my body, like my physical 3-dimensional body was going to break. That's how big and infinite my energy felt. And I went to the river, I started crying because I felt this presence of unconditional love. And you know, I pray to the river spirits like a hippie lady out there, and I swear they were there holding me, and I was crying and I was crying and I was crying. I said a prayer, I sang my lullaby to the spirits. I opened my eyes, and the whole river, the trees, the plants, the scenery, the rocks, everything was glowing, sparkling. The trees were glowing blue. Everything felt like it was more vibrant or had like colors radiating off of it, like I was seeing the plants' auras. It was insane. And then I had my spirit guide, a new spirit guide, reveal itself to me. And we had this conversation, and she revealed to me her name, and that I need to get a lot of sleep in these next coming months because she's going to be working with me and on me whilst I sleep, and that I'm going to develop extra abilities. Since that point, I can paint, I can cry on cue, I can freestyle dance way better than I could before. I haven't touched the piano and the guitar in like 10 years. I can improvise on both those instruments by ear, and I was always a sheet music person. I've become smarter. I'm listening to like history lectures, and all of the information is like going into my brain. Anyway, I digress. So if you want to know the details, go back to that video and I'll tell you the full details. That night, so I call my vocal coach, and she kind of talks me through this, and she's saying that I'm going through this transformation, and that she's going to send me this light language guy on YouTube who has a free healing on one of his YouTube videos. And that so I went back home and I slept to the sound of his voice doing light language. I woke up feeling like a different person, and it was a nap. So it was just during the day, had a nap, woke up, went about the rest of my day, went to the sauna, cleansed everything. Then at the end of the night, I was just in this like, just unconditional, abundant, loving energy. And I went to go to sleep. But before I went to go to sleep, I had this weird feeling like I should pick up one of my oldest journals that I have. And it was like a journal, because I have journals from when I've been writing in my journals since I was like 7. But my childhood journals are all in a box somewhere. But my adult journals from like 17, 18 are like all in chronological order in my bookshelf. And so I went to my oldest journal from like 2017 or 2018. I open it up and I have this urge to just whisper into the journal and tell my younger self like what to do, like how to get to where I am now. And it occurred to me that, wait, if time isn't real, right? Because I was learning about time, and like, if you watch my previous video, time, the idea of like time not actually being linear, and time being just like this construct, it's not a real thing, that you can actually bend it and manipulate it, freaked me out, and it kind of elicited this spiritual awakening. And I learned that you can basically, if time isn't linear, it means that basically what happens is you can be incarnated into 2025 now, but then next incarnation, it doesn't have to be in the future. You can be reborn back in 1950, and then you can go to 2030, and then you could go backwards into the 1700s. Like, it's not linear when you zoom out. And that made me think, oh my goodness, what if I just like keep doing this and like whisper wisdom to my past self and like read the journal entries and tell her what to do? And then it occurred to me, holy fucking shit, I am my guidance. That's me writing back to me, but from the future. It's me from the future. How fucking crazy is that? And I get goosebumps when I think about it, because it's so spooky ooky because that's me. Like, it's all me, but it's me. And there's parallel versions of me running at the same time, choosing different outcomes, choosing a matcha one morning, choosing a coffee another morning. But if I can streamline it so that the probabilities, I control them, and I give myself my past parallels that are existing all at once to an infinite degree, and I send back information into the past, then they're all gonna align and do one thing. Does that make sense? Like, they're all gonna end up doing the thing that I instruct them to do. And then because of that probability, the chances of me getting my desired reality in the future is higher because I'm streamlining the outcome. Does that make sense? I don't really know if I'm encapsulating this right. The other thing I was gonna say is, I was watching a Neil deGrasse Tyson video about time, and this is in one of the videos that I had when I'm talking to my friend, but basically in 3D, you can tie a knot, right? So say we just have a string that overlaps itself like this. You can unfold that string and untie that kind of knot by bringing it forward into this third dimension and untying it. But in 2D, if I were to draw this in 2D, or like place a string looping over itself into the 2D universe, those two-dimensional beings won't be able to lift the string up and over itself because they're stuck in 2D. So like that, because time is a fourth dimensional construct, we are limited in time in 3D because we are the two-dimensional beings that can't lift the string over itself. So time it comes off as stuck for us. But when you zoom out, you realize that time, because we see it so up close and limited in from our perspective, we see time as a line, as linear, past, present, future, a line. But when you zoom out, it's probably something like a sphere or some four-dimensional object that we can't even comprehend. And so all of the rules of time become null and void, which is why you can incarnate into a past life in the future, or a present life, or a future life in the past. Does that make sense? And anyway, if you can zoom out and realize that, yes, there are confines that we subscribe to being three-dimensional beings, but if we have the knowledge and the awareness that there's more, then you can hack the system by whispering to past versions of yourself and future versions of yourself, and realize that we are infinite, that it's all me, that I'm existing all at once in the now. And you can hack your reality and manifest whatever it is that you desire by giving yourself advice. That's crazy. By being your own guidance and realizing that you are God, essentially, that you are the divine, the infinite, that you are beyond these three-dimensional constructs and limitations. It's all inside you. The entire universe is inside you. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for more videos. I want to start talking more about high ceiling